Welcome back to Fletcher House Garden. Today we're continuing our Dream House Era series with episode 2, a pink library, a signature pink library in fact, with simple autumn touches. Now, before I share the updates that have been made in this space, I first wanted to show you a couple of snapshots of how the library appeared in May of 2024. It's important to take notice of the fireplace mantle. These same decorations have been on top of the mantle shelf since Brad and I were married in 2021. In June, I replaced the wall decor that hangs above the fireplace, and I started to rearrange the decorations on the mantle shelf. The updates continue, but first antique shopping at one of my favorite local spots. I'm looking for some vintage items that I can mix in with my existing collections. You will come to notice that this room, the library, will be updated purely by switching out accessories. The key pieces such as the furnishings, the area rug, the window treatments, and even the paint color on the walls, all of that will remain the same. I'm on the hunt for floral items, feminine items, bookish items, but most importantly, those pink items that will update this space. Speaking of pink, did you know that the classic Southern film, Still Magnolias, is celebrating its 35th anniversary this year? It was originally filmed in 1989, and admittedly, I thought of Julia Roberts' character Shelby when working on the library, because as many of you may know, one of her infamous lines was that pink is my signature color. Admittedly, I did most of the work in this room behind the scenes without the cameras rolling, but I'm happy to point out some of the changes I've made that I think may interest you. Let's start with the fireplace because that's an obvious focal point in this room. The window hanging above the fireplace mantle is a purchase I made from Facebook Marketplace. On the shelf, I have, flanking either side, some resin topiary statues that I found locally at that sweet little antique mall. I also have some pink apothecary jars that I purchased a couple years ago while living in Nashville at a retail chain called At Home. There's also some vintage books, Reader's Digest collections, and some poetry collections that I've cultivated over the years from old bookstores and flea markets. I'm also starting to sprinkle in some chinoiserie pieces that I have found at flea markets and antique malls that all have pink tones. Let me clarify, when I say pink tones, I am purposefully using mauve, blush, rose, berry, even tawny pinks that add sophistication and warmth to this space, as opposed to baby pinks or ballerina pastel pinks. Y'all, it would be downright foolish of me not to acknowledge the numerous stacks of books. I have a lot of books in this room, and they are not purely decorative in nature. After all, I do use this room as a library, so all of my reading collections are in this space, whether in my bookcase cabinet or on top of tables. In fact, I keep my favorite magazines and the books that I'm currently referencing on a regular basis stacked on top of my coffee table, so they are always within reach. A quick mention that the artificial florals and the wreath that you see in this room were all purchased at either Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or from Amazon. I bought these sweet cereal bowls while antique shopping. They are pink depression glass made by Anchor Hawking, and I bought them specifically to place underneath these wicker candles to keep the base of the candles from scratching my book covers over time. Would you believe that I also found this silver tray while antique shopping for $12.95? It's in great condition. I'm going to use it to elevate the middle of the coffee table here, where I keep my favorite magazines. To add that touch for autumn, I'm also placing some of my pink and white china collection here with a bowl of acorns and pine cones. I still hope to find some floral pillow covers to add to this room, but until then, I'm going to use some new throw blankets and these textured pillow covers in a deep ochre color for fall. Something fun to use in this space are these glass pumpkins. They have fairy lights inside that light up. I typically find them at TJ Maxx or Home Goods. My question for you is, do you happen to own any of these, and what fun colors do you have? Speaking of fall, I'm only adding a few autumnal touches to this space while I'm revamping it, because admittedly it's still August and it's going to remain warm here in Tennessee for several weeks. I'm so pleased to see how switching up the accessories in the library have revitalized the space and has made it more in line with my dream house era mindset. This is even more so a space that I look forward to using. Now tell me, would you like to join me in the library? I've always got some tea in the fridge if you want to stop by. I do usually have the overhead lights in the library turned off for most of the day. That's because I enjoy the lamp light in this room as well as the natural sunlight. So when it comes to the dream house era, we've taken a look at the dining room and now the library. And who knows what room may be next. I hope you'll continue to join us, especially because I may be biased. But Tennessee is a glorious place to experience autumn. And in the coming weeks, the seasons will change here. I cannot wait to share some of my favorite places, treats, and events that take place in my little corner of the world as the temperatures begin to cool. So stick around. Come back and see us here at Fletcher House Garden. But until next time, take care.